What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nasha, welcome back to the channel. Now it's very rare that I would ever do a best of both worlds video, but here we are again. So for today's news video, again, is a best of both worlds video, including the latest on Rhea Ripley potentially returning to NXT, perhaps? Jeff Hardy teasing Willow to WWE, yeah. And then I'm going to be talking about, as well, if I can get all this organized, I guess even more, basically, even more cards from Battle of Chaos as well. So, yeah, there's quite a bit to talk about, actually, but I'm very curious. Hang on, guys. Anyway, guys, so I'm curious about this because as far as Rhea Ripley goes, you guys know she's been a part of the main roster throughout this whole year, 2021, and the last time she was in NXT, she had she actually was the NXT Women's Champion. She had lost the title to Charlotte Flair, and yeah, everything. I think, and her career in NXT just went downhill from there. But when she got called up to the main roster, part of the Royal Rumble match, that's when everything started to go. Started to go uphill for Rhea, and she ended up becoming Raw Women's Champion, and then eventually Women's Tag Team Champion as well. Hang on, guys, my chair is being stupid. There we go. So Rhea Ripley was on the Battleground podcast. No copyrights here. You guys know how this works. Shout out to Battleground podcast again. No copyrights, of course. I don't own them. Just shout outs. She basically compared the new NXT with the version that she was on. And she had mentioned she also mentioned wanting to fight in the corner of, or I guess fight with the NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzales. She said, quote, I would love to, honestly. I miss NXT right now, how it's all changed. I don't know if I'd really fit in, but when it was the metal scene and very grungy, I love that NXT. Not saying that the one now is bad or anything, but it's definitely more like the up and comers, and everyone's there trying to make a name for themselves. But saying that, I would definitely go back in a heartbeat, especially to help my girl Raquel Gonzales. I don't like when she gets jumped. Yeah, I got her back. So for those who are wondering what she meant by that last sentence, she was referring to what happened not this past Tuesday, but last Tuesday on NXT 2.0, where Toxic Attraction, Gigi Dolan, Mandy Rose, JC Jane attacked Raquel Gonzales, and Mandy Rose had held the NXT Women's title over her head, making a statement that she wants the NXT Women's title. So the last time she was in NXT, I believe it was at New Year's Evil, where she had lost to Gonzales in a last woman standing match, which then she went on to go to Monday Night Raw back in March to challenge Asuka for the Raw Women's title back in April at WrestleMania. And she is now currently one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions on Raw with Nikki ASH. They were drafted to Raw during the third round of the draft on SmackDown, which, again, it really would not have mattered because of the fact that the titles can go to both Raw and SmackDown as well. So, would she go back? Absolutely. As she just said, she would definitely go back in a heartbeat. Would she be able to fit in? It's hard to say. It's kind of hard to say. At this stage in her career, it's hard to say, given the fact that as she had said in that quote, in that text, she would not know if she would really fit in, but you won't know until you give it a shot. So obviously, currently now she has aligned herself with the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. But you guys know, if you guys remember, back in April at Takeover Stand and Deliver, Raquel Gonzales actually beat Io Shirai for the NXT Women's title, and she's been champion ever since. So, I guess the respect is there. Who knows? But, yeah, and Rhea Ripley going back to NXT to help Raquel Gonzales, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Especially if like, say, Zoe Stark were to get injured by the hands of toxic attraction, I'm all for it. I am all for it. Let's go. What's up? What's up? I'd be down to watch that trio any day. Any day. And with that being said, if you guys are wondering why it's dark in here, it is actually not. Truth be told, here in California, it is 8:20 in the morning, and it is gloomy as fuck. Meaning we are gonna get some rain pretty soon, even though we're still technically in the summer. But with that being said, we have a new card. We actually have a new mutant card for the mutant archetype. Mutant. We have Mutant Mutator, which is a 1-star water psychic with 0 attack and defense, and both of its effects are once per turn. If you control a mutant card, you can special summon this card from your hand, so it's kind of like a Cyber Dragon of sorts. Which any monster that has the Cyber Dragon effect is just automatically good, easily. Second effect says you can tribute this card, then banish one mutant card from your hand or deck. Special summon a monster from your hand or deck based on the banished card, and if you do, you lose life points equal to that monster's original attack. So if you banish a monster, you summon Mutant Beast. Spell is Mutant Mist. Trap is Mutant Arsenal. Okay, so it's more so it's kind of like a really bad 1-for-1, so to speak. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I don't know if the mutants are gonna be like as competitive as people thought it would be, but it's possible. It is very possible. Very, very, very possible. But now I want to talk about something that's been that might happen, and that is Willow coming to WWE. You guys are wondering, who the fuck am I talking about? Well, if you guys remember TNA, Jeff Hardy was actually a part of TNA back in, actually he was a part of TNA twice. First time was in 2003-ish. I stayed in TNA for a few years to continue his his professional wrestling career. Came back to the WWE in 2006. Left WWE in 2009. Went back to TNA to continue his career, and that was when everything started to go uphill, downhill. Literally, it was a slope. You guys know Jeff Hardy had went through a series of drug and alcohol abuse from his days in TNA. Thus, back in 2011, at a pay-per-view called Victory Road, if I remember right, I believe it was Victory Road. Let me see. Let me look on my Fire Stick. It's gonna take me a couple minutes, so let's see. Jeff Hardy. Here we go. Versus Sting. I believe it was Victory Road. Yeah. So back in 2011, at a pay-per-view called at a TNA pay-per-view called Victory Road, there was a lot that had happened during that time. Jeff Hardy had gone through a series of incidents involving drug and alcohol abuse, and when the match was and when it was Jeff Hardy's time to go into the ring to perform his entrance, it took him literally a few minutes just to get in, and I know that because I actually saw it and I completely forgot about it. But yeah, he was a part of a faction known as Immortal, and that was and his entrance as part of Immortal looked like he was just high as fuck. And when he had went through a phase in TNA, that was when we saw Willow. Willow had debuted, I believe, in 2011. It was around 2011, 2012. I actually want to look that one up. Because it was actually on the search engine. Oh, it was 2014. Really? Yeah, so it was right around 2014, that we saw Willow, and to be honest, and it's been since then, since we saw Willow in the world of professional wrestling, and of course Jeff Hardy was on the Culture State podcast. No, again, I don't own the copyrights. Just shout outs, of course. No, you guys know how this works. As part of the website, as part of the news website Wrestling Inc. Again, no copyrights here. Big shout outs to them for this, of course. Jeff Hardy had talked about how someone was working on a brand new mask, a brand new Willow mask for him, and wanted to bring Willow into WWE. He had explained, saying, quote, "Speaking of Willow, I was just talking with the guy that makes these masks, who made it back then. He's such an awesome mask maker, and that's now making this new Willow mask, and we're talking about the possibility of Willow entering the scene once again before my career is over." So it's possible that we could see Willow in WWE. Jeff Hardy had, I guess you could say Jeff Hardy had teased it during, right after his match with Damian Priest this past Monday on Raw, because you guys know Jeff Hardy is being drafted to SmackDown. Excuse me. So it is possible we could see Willow before his career is over, and honestly, I am all for it. Getting the chance to see Willow in WWE, honestly, I love it. I love the idea. I would love to see Jeff Hardy bring Willow, which is obviously his alter ego into WWE before his career is over. I would love to see that, because for Willow, think of some of the different some of the possible matches we could see in WWE. We could see Sheamus versus Willow. We all know the history between Sheamus and Jeff Hardy last year during the pandemic. We could see Willow versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title, which is a possibility given the fact that now with what's on the roster, with what's on the roster now, you have, let me. Where is it? Here it is. With the fact that Roman Reigns has a lot of new faces on SmackDown, such as Drew McIntyre, New Day. We have Baron Corbin and Riddick Moss. We have Hit Row. Again, Jeff Hardy, Drew Gulak, Mace, Mustafa Ali, Mansoor, King Nakamura and Rick Boogs, Sheamus, the Viking Raiders, Ricochet, Angel Garza, Humberto Carrillo, Cesaro, Ridge Holland could be a good match for Roman Reigns. The possibilities are endless when it comes to potential matches for Roman Reigns, and Willow could be a really good one, because with Willow in WWE, he's basically a much more intriguing version of the Demon. If you guys know, if you know, you know. But yeah, that could be a really interesting matchup for Roman Reigns. But with that being said, that actually brings me to the question of the day. Do you guys want to see Willow in WWE, and who do you want to see Willow face for his first opponent? Let me know in the comments below. That's the question of the day. Let me know in the comments below. But with that being said, we actually have free agent cards for Battle of Chaos. So the first one is trying to ruin me. Okay, well, for some reason that ad won't leave. So first up, we have Mad Hacker. It's actually, that's actually pretty clever, because it's a reference to the Mad Hatter, I think, from was it from Alice in Wonderland, if I remember right? It's a 2-star Dark Cybers with 1,000 attack and 600 defense, and both of its effects are once per turn. If a monster or monsters is special summoned to your opponent's field, you can special summon a card from your hand. Again, another form of Cyber Dragon. Any monster with the Cyber Dragon effect, instantly broken. It is instantly going to be as broken as they come. You know. If you know, you know. Second effect says, during the end phase, you can banish the card from the field, take control of the monster of the monster your opponent controls with the lowest attack, your choice if tied, while that monster is face up on your field. Its effects cannot be activated. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except Link monsters. So obviously, you are going to be locked out of so many monsters from the extra deck, but you can also use that monster as Link material to go into something like Firewall Dragon, because hello, Cybers. Mad Hacker is a Cybers. You can use it with Firewall Dragon. Broken. It's just too broken. Next up, we have Catnip Li Hua. Literally, that's the name of the card. You guys are probably thinking that I'm weird saying that. No, literally, that's the name of the card, which is actually kind of funny. It's a 2-star Wind Beast with 0 attack and defense, and the effect is a once per turn. You contribute this card, then target a level 2 monster in your grave. Except this card, special summon it. Then you can special summon a level 2 monster with a different attribute than the monster from your hand. So basically, it's a form of a double. It's basically a double summon. So you can basically it's a double summon Monster Reborn. So or I guess rather, it's a Monster Reborn Cyber Ref system. So the Monster Reborn, obviously you can summon a monster from the graveyard. Cyber Ref system, you summon it. you summon a monster from your hand. And Li Hua, I believe is the name is the proper term, takes its name from a recently established breed of domestic cat in China. Ooh, that's actually really cool. That's actually really cool. Now it all makes sense. Now we have if you guys know from what was it, Pharaoh's Servant? Yeah, from the set Pharaoh's Servant from back in 2003, there was a card known as Prohibition, which was a continuous spell, and you declare one card name, it can't be used, basically, which could stop Nibiru. This card in particular is basically that, but it's a normal spell called Proscription. And it says, declare one card name. For the rest of this turn, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects with the same original card name as the declared card name. For the rest of this duel, you cannot activate cards or effects with the same original name as the declared card name. It's a bad prohibition. You might as well just play Prohibition itself because that's just stupid. I'm just saying it right now. If you have thoughts of playing this card when it comes out, don't. This card is bad. Why would you risk using? Why would you risk not using the declared card name when you can just use Prohibition and only your opponent can't use it, but you get to? Think about it, guys. Think about it. Think about it. It's a fact. It is a known fact, people. Trust. I'd rather be playing a continuous Prohibition rather than a one-time Prohibition. So, that being said, we have a normal trap called Recklessness and Punishment. I have to say the artwork actually looks really cool. It's a normal trap, and it says if your life points is lower than your opponent's, activate one of these effects. Destroy one monster your opponent controls with attack equal to or lower than the life point difference. Special summon a monster from your grave with attack equal to or lower than the life point difference. So it's either you trap hole one of your opponent's monsters or you can Monster Reborn. That's actually really cool. That is actually really cool. I like that name. I like that. I like that. But as a note here, it says the card's name is a play on an idiom for being extremely reckless, but part of it's been replaced with punishment / costs of one's actions. So we're aiming for something referencing crime and punishment. Ooh, that's cool. That's actually really cool. And the last one here is End of the Line. There's a normal trap, and it says if your life points is less than 100, cannot. No. If your life points is less than 100, draw 2 cards. Then, if your life points is lower than 10, draw 2 cards. What? Okay. This is actually kind of funny. Because the note here says the name is a play on revolving lantern. Literally it'd be a revolving locomotive. It might also reference something referring to life flashing before your eyes. Hence, to the dramatic cost to draw last up or last call might work. Okay, that's actually pretty funny. It's a double pot of greed if your life points are lower than 10. It's a double pot of greed. That's actually funny. That is funny, especially if you really have 10 life points or less. That is funny. Because it's ironic because the thing is, there aren't a whole lot of cards that will make your life points go down to 10. 100 maybe, but that's about it. Wait a minute, 100? You can actually use this with the Egyptian God deck. That's funny. That is funny, especially if you mix it up with Ra. Dude, that's funny. That is funny. Wow. Okay, I'm literally like laughing right now. That's actually pretty funny. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want more WWE news videos and Yu-Gi-Oh news videos. The Yu-Gi-Oh news videos will get posted on every Tuesday. The WWE news videos gets posted every Thursday. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be down in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail that you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.